We're jumping straight into quantum cyber today. Everyone is watching the price action. But the real story is their aggressive pivot into the U.S. autonomous defense sector. Just as a historic $55 billion drone budget is hitting the table. And, when I say price action, we're talking about a stock that just absolutely erupted.
Oh, totally.
Like it surged up to 779%, hitting $4.32.
Which completely shatters its old range, right? It was sitting quietly at, what, 30 cents to 250?
Exactly. But the price is really only half the story here. If you're watching this, you have to look at the volume to understand the pure gravity of the move. They traded 216 million shares in a single day.
Which is insane. I mean, to put that in perspective, their average daily volume was just under 900,000 shares.
Right. That is a systemic liquidity shock. You have momentum algorithms, day traders, and, massive speculative capital all flooding through the same door at the exact same second.
Exactly. You're tuned into the Easy Money Show, where we make sense of the market's biggest moves. I'm glad you're with us.
If this helped you understand the market faster, subscribe, hit the like button, and comment below with the next company you want us to simplify.
And before we get back to the stock, here's a quick tool for traders who want cleaner chart signals. VIP Indicators is built around a bold idea. Grow $100 to $10K with VIP indicators, using TradingView indicators and market alerts with up to a 93% win rate. It helps traders spot possible buy and sell setups faster instead of guessing from messy charts all day. But keep this simple. Trading is risky, no indicator can guarantee profit, and growing $100 into $10K is not guaranteed. Use it for education and analysis only, manage your risk, and always do your own research. This is an affiliate link, so we may earn a commission if you use it at no extra cost to you.
Let's break that down even further. Because to understand why 216 million shares changed hands, you really have to understand the pivot. And honestly, it's one of the most audacious pivots I've seen in a long time.
Oh, completely. I mean, Quantum Cyber used to be a legacy biotech company, right? Mainz Biomed.
Right. They were doing like medical tech and diagnostics. Now, today, they're suddenly stepping onto the battlefield as an autonomous defense platform. It's like changing the engine of a car while you're flying down the highway.
Yeah, going from blood tests directly to tactical military hardware is definitely not a natural evolution.
No, not at all.
It's a completely different universe of regulation and tech and clientele. But they're attempting to bypass those decades of research and development usually needed by bringing in this exclusive IP license agreement with BP United.
And that BP United agreement is really the engine block of this whole operation.
Yeah.
Like they aren't trying to invent a new drone from scratch in a garage.
Right. They licensed highly specific, immediately deployable tech specs.
Exactly. We're looking at a platform with a 25-plus kilometer operational range, fully autonomous takeoff and landing capabilities, and heavily encrypted communications.
Which is just non-negotiable on a modern battlefield.
Yeah.
I mean, in the current electronic warfare environment we're seeing globally, an unencrypted drone is basically a hijacked drone in seconds.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But having a good drone isn't actually the core product here.
Right. What really creates the strategic moat for them is their system of systems platform.
Okay, pause right there. Because the defense sector absolutely loves to throw around system of systems in every single slide deck.
Yeah, they do.
It sounds like classic military procurement jargon. So if you're listening to this and trying to evaluate the tech, what does that actually mean for a drone out in the field?
It's a great question because it separates remote-controlled toys from actual military infrastructure. Think of old drone tech as a one-to-one relationship.
Like one pilot on the ground holding one controller flying one drone.
Exactly. A system of systems approach fundamentally throws that out the window. Instead of individual units, it uniquely combines AI, quantum-accelerated computing, and the physical drone hardware into a hive mind.
Almost like a swarm.
Yeah, exactly like a swarm. If you've ever seen those murmurations of starlings in the sky, thousands of birds flying together, instantly changing direction when a predator attacks without crashing, that's what this software aims to replicate with lethal hardware.
But coordinating that digitally sounds incredibly mathematically heavy.
Oh, it is. And that's where the quantum computing element comes in.
Right, because frankly, quantum is another buzzword companies just love to use to pump their stock.
For sure.
So how does quantum computing actually function inside a drone swarm?
Well, let's look at the mechanics.
Hmm.
If you have 100 autonomous drones in the air and they suddenly encounter 50 anti-air defense systems, they need to instantly recalculate their flight paths to survive and hit their target.
Well, they just get shot down.
Exactly. A classical computer processes those routing options sequentially, one after another. Calculating millions of possible combinations takes time, maybe minutes. In combat, minutes mean your entire fleet is destroyed. But a quantum-accelerated algorithm evaluates massive amounts of combinatorial data simultaneously. It can solve that massive routing problem and push the optimal paths to the swarm in milliseconds.
So instead of one pilot panicking, you have an AI-driven, quantum-accelerated network adjusting the flight paths of hundreds of drones instantly.
Right, acting as a collective hive mind.
But there's another piece of tech here. Management keeps bringing up the quantum antenna. If we're dealing with adversaries blasting the sky with radio noise to jam signals, how does a quantum antenna fix that?
So traditional antennas listen for specific radio frequencies. When the enemy floods that frequency with loud electronic white noise, the drone goes deaf.
And falls out of the sky.
Right. A quantum antenna operates differently. It utilizes highly sensitive quantum sensors, sometimes based on Rydberg atoms, that don't just listen for a broad radio wave. They detect minute photon-level shifts in the local electromagnetic field.
So it's not just relying on a standard signal.
Exactly. It picks up an encrypted, microscopic signal buried underneath a mountain of enemy jamming noise. It makes the communication link incredibly resilient.
That level of resilience is what brings us to the combat credibility behind all this. Because quantum cyber isn't just drawing these concepts up on a whiteboard in a California lab.
Oh, they're not.
They are utilizing Israeli and Ukrainian battlefield-proven systems. I can't overstate how important that is. You can have a drone that works perfectly over a pristine test range in Nevada, but the second you put it in an active combat zone where state actors are actively trying to fry your circuits, it fails.
Exactly. By licensing tech with that specific battlefield pedigree, they attempt to skip years of painful, expensive trial and error.
And that combat credibility is perfectly timed for the macro setup.
The macro tailwind here is absolutely massive. We're looking at a proposed $55 billion federal budget specifically for drone and autonomous warfare. Let me repeat that. $55 billion.
That number is wild.
Yeah, especially considering the prior year's budget for similar allocations was roughly $225 million.
That is a staggering multiplier. The federal government is realizing that spending $2 billion on a single traditional heavy aircraft just doesn't make sense when it can be disabled by a swarm of smart drones that cost a fraction of a percent of that price.
Precisely. The transition from legacy, heavy hardware warfare to nimble, autonomous systems is being funded at a level we've never seen before. Which brings us to their political positioning. Because having the right technology is only about 20% of the battle in defense contracting.
Right. The other 80% is knowing how to navigate the labyrinth of federal procurement.
Yeah.
And honestly, their approach to this might be the most brilliant part of their strategy. To capture a piece of that $55 billion, they formed a Nevada-domiciled subsidiary called Quantum Drones. But it's entirely about who they put in charge. They brought in heavy hitters.
Like a former acting secretary of Veterans Affairs?
Yeah, and a former Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary.
Some might look at that and say they just hired guys with golden Rolodexes to lobby for them.
And they'd be exactly right. But in Washington, that is a prerequisite. These are individuals who understand exactly how the gears of the Pentagon turn. They understand sluggish procurement cycles. They have the clearances. And most importantly, they know the decision makers who actually sign the checks.
Yeah, they built this subsidiary specifically to act as a heat-seeking missile aimed at federal defense spending.
And if they navigate that maze and actually land contracts, the financial structure of this new business model is highly attractive. Remember, this isn't a heavy manufacturing setup.
No, they don't have to spend 5 years and $1 billion building a factory complex. They operate on an asset-light IP licensing model.
Which sounds like an oxymoron in defense.
Yeah.
Explain how that supply chain works for them.
They are relying on the BP United supply chain for the actual commercial supply, physical assembly, and deployment. Their overhead remains relatively low because they're basically providing the brain and the blueprints. When you're just licensing the intellectual property and letting a partner handle the nuts and bolts, your gross margins can eventually become very strong as you scale up.
Okay, well, here's the lowdown on the risk.
Yeah.
Because scaling an asset-light IP model with battlefield-tested tech sounds bulletproof in a press release. But then I looked at their actual balance sheet, and the math violently collides with reality. How does a company with less than $1 million in the bank fund a multi-billion-dollar defense empire without completely crushing its current shareholders?
That is the ultimate question here, because the financial reality is incredibly grim when you look under the hood. Their 2025 year-end balance sheet had exactly $889,091 in cash.
For a company trying to sit at the table with the Department of Defense, under $1 million is practically pocket change. That barely keeps the corporate lights on and pays the legal fees for patent filings.
Exactly. Furthermore, they have deeply negative free cash flow. They're burning money every month to set up these patents, build prototypes, and organize the new Quantum Drones subsidiary. It got to the point where their financial filings triggered a substantial doubt clause regarding their ability to continue as a going concern.
And for anyone listening who isn't familiar with accounting jargon, a going concern warning is a giant flashing red light from the auditors. It essentially means, hey, based on the cash they have right now, this company might not actually exist 12 months from today.
So how do they bridge that massive gap? They use their own stock as a limitless ATM. They recently expanded their equity distribution agreement with Maxim Group.
Let's really dig into the mechanics of this, because this is where retail investors get caught off guard. Previously, they had a ceiling that allowed them to sell up to $10 million worth of shares. They just rocketed that ceiling up to $100 million.
Which introduces massive, aggressive dilution risk. This isn't a situation where they go to a bank and take out a loan. This is an at-the-market offering or an ATM.
Right, and the mechanics of an ATM are brutal if you hold the stock. It means the company can literally hit the sell button on the open market whenever they want. When retail investors see that 779% price surge and rush in to buy, Maxim Group is sitting there matching those buy orders with newly printed shares.
The company gets the cash, but the total number of shares in existence skyrockets.
Exactly. If the overall value stays the same, but the share count goes from 10 million to 50 million, the value of your specific shares is drastically reduced. You're being diluted.
And the kicker here is control. CEO David Lazar controls over 95% of the voting rights. That means the decision to aggressively print new shares and dilute the stock is entirely in insider hands. Regular retail shareholders have virtually no voice in the boardroom to stop it.
Beyond the terrifying balance sheet, you have to look at the execution hurdles. The market saw that $55 billion budget request hit the news, connected it to quantum cyber, and got totally euphoric. But we have to be grounded. A budget request from the Pentagon is not a guaranteed contract for quantum cyber.
It's not even close. The Department of Defense procurement cycle is notoriously sluggish. Let's walk through it. First, the government issues a request for information. Months later, a request for proposal. Then prototype shoot-offs, then rigid operational testing, cybersecurity vetting, bureaucratic reviews, and finally, congressional appropriations.
That takes forever.
It can easily take 2 to 3 years before a single dollar of actual revenue hits a defense contractor's bank account.
And they aren't exactly walking into an empty room. They're picking a fight with established, well-capitalized giants like AeroVironment and Kratos. Those companies already have the deep-rooted relationships and lobbying power that quantum cyber is attempting to build from absolute scratch.
Which perfectly explains the market sentiment warning we're seeing on the charts right now. Yes, the stock had a massive historic rally, but we are also seeing a violent fast fade from those highs.
Right. When a stock jumps nearly 800% in a matter of days, the market is pricing in absolute perfection. It implies that momentum traders are pricing in immediate, massive government contract wins.
But as we just broke down, those contracts could take years. When reality sets in that the revenue isn't arriving next Tuesday, you get severe short-term exhaustion and profit-taking. Traders who rode the wave up exit, leaving late buyers holding the bag as the price corrects to match the actual timeline.
So what should regular investors watch next?
Well, the absolute most critical near-term catalyst is SOF Week 2026. That stands for Special Operations Forces Week. This is not just a standard corporate trade show where you hand out branded pens.
No, it's the ultimate show and tell.
Exactly. This is where Quantum Cyber will exhibit its autonomous platform directly to U.S. Special Operations Command buyers. And SOCOM buyers are the elite. They're looking for tactical advantages that work tomorrow, not theoretical concepts for next decade.
Putting physical hardware right in front of the people who write the checks.
Yep. If Quantum Cyber can actually impress at SOF Week, it validates their entire audacious pivot. It proves the BP United IP and the quantum computing integration are functioning tools, not just slide deck buzzwords.
But while management is busy proving the tech, you as the investor need to watch the numbers. The next quarterly earnings report is critical. Look for two very specific things. First, you want to see any initial revenue actually being generated from the BP United supply arrangement.
Right, they need to show the market they can actually monetize the intellectual property.
Yes. And second, and perhaps far more importantly given their balance sheet, you have to watch the cash burn rate. You need to monitor exactly how fast they are burning through that $100 million stock sale facility with Maxim Group.
If they're draining that ATM facility rapidly just to cover executive salaries and admin costs without matching revenue growth.
The resulting share dilution will destroy shareholder value long before the drone technology ever gets off the ground. You also want to keep a close eye on future tech announcements. Management has been heavily teasing some speculative catalysts on the horizon, like new technology agreements.
Reading between the lines, that likely means more acquisitions of those Israeli or Ukrainian battlefield-proven systems to bolt onto their existing platform.
They're also talking about new patent filings and field updates on their quantum antenna technology.
In a momentum-driven sector like microcap defense tech, a single press release detailing a successful field test of an anti-jamming quantum antenna can easily trigger another massive volume event.
Let's wrap this up in plain English.
Right. Quantum Cyber experienced a massive liquidity event and a violent price surge because they executed a hard pivot. They transitioned from a struggling medical diagnostics business right into the heart of the defense tech sector.
Exactly, as government spending on drones and autonomous warfare is absolutely exploding.
And when you weigh it all, the strongest bull point is their tangible, battlefield-tested drone tech and that politically connected leadership team. But the biggest risk is the brutal reality of their balance sheet, carrying a massive threat of shareholder dilution just to keep the lights on while they wait for slow-moving government contracts.
And for traders who want a simpler way to read fast-moving charts, check out VIP indicators through the link below. The message is simple. Grow 100 to $10K with VIP indicators, with trading tools showing up to a 93% win rate. Just remember, trading is risky, results are never guaranteed, and 100 to $10K is not promised. Use the tools for education and analysis, protect your downside, and do your own research before trading. This is an affiliate link, and we may earn a commission at no extra cost to you.
That is the lowdown. Subscribe for more simple market breakdowns and comment below with the next company you want us to simplify.